Yeah.
How's he feeling?
When that truck happened.
Yeah, they tell me the biggest problem I have is I just don't have the strength, you know. Hey, I'm 76 years old, you know, and I don't have really the strength, and that's what they've been building up, is the strength. So I don't know.
Well, he's got a fusion
You know,
in the lower back.
You've accepted it, Bob, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Learn to live with it and work with it. I'm telling you.
Physical therapy is great.
Well, the partner already told me, Bob, it's going to be a year before you can really feel any real mileage.
I know.
How old were you when you had the first surgery?
37.
How old?
Yeah, 37.
37.
You know what?
I was on a brace, Bob, for over a year. And when I got in bed at night, I took it off.
Talking about
The first thing in the morning, I had to put it back on.
He's off to work the whole
I didn't hear that.
I was in a brace. What about over a year? And I would go to bed with it on. I would have to take it off. And then, before I got up in the morning, I put it back on. It was like a corset with these steel bars. And we got a second corset because during the summer I sweat like a pig. You had a one, and I have a fresh one.
I'm making a movie and now commissioners see this.
Well, it lasted 27 years. And the surgery that the guy did 25 years ago was still intact. But the spine cracked above it. So they had to fix that.
When was that? When was that? Recently?
Joe, how long ago was my second surgery? It was about 27 years.
You were there.
I remember that because I came over to the house for dinner and Mom was still in bed.
My father told my mother, do not move. So we could go get the car. He came back and she was gone.
And then your mother were dancing, and my father danced them right out the door.
Well, who was the wedding when you got me drunk with the shots? Whose wedding was that?
Pansy Willows.
It wasn't Nancy Willow's wedding. It was Jimmy's, I think Jimmy or no.
Yeah.
Donnie's wedding? Donnie and Irene's wedding, I
You don't
think.
like asparagus?
That's when Jack stole the car and he was driving the car down the street.
Jack stole a car.
So he took his father's car out of the garage. And he in Cork.
We're standing on the Belmont Army, and here goes Jack and Corky down the dad's car waving.
Lawyer in the County County.
What hospital?
We have McHenry, Syntec from McHenry, which is used to be called.
The sun hit her, I fell in love with her hair. I didn't even see the rest of her.
But anyway, yeah.
And then when I got closer, I said, Mamma Mia!
I didn't go out with him.
And if it wasn't for her aunt, we would have never got together.
Wow.
Because she was by our aunt's house on Belmont Seminary. And she used to come straight down Belmont Avenue and pick her dad up at the tavern where my dad tended
Yeah,
bar.
they were good friends.
So he called up and he says, Jay, you gonna pick me up? I said, yeah. Well, come on in. He says, I want you to meet somebody. The somebody was me. And she told her aunt, she says, I'm not gonna go in any tavern and meet a drunk. So wait a minute.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Her aunt actually didn't convince her. You know, do your dad a favor. Go see how this guy is. She wore out 3 pair of high heel shoes running after me.
Oh. But she caught you.
She caught
you. Yeah.
Some way I don't believe that. I went along with your story. You got to that last
one. No, I'll tell you the rest of the story now. That night I went home. I waited for my dad.
That's when you first saw her.
First night I ever
The
saw
lightning hit you.
Boom, like a bolt. And I waited for my dad.
That's what happened with her.
And he had to close the tavern up. So I waited for him. We got home about midnight. My mom was sleeping. I wake her up. I says, Ma. She says, yeah. I says, I met the girl I'm going to marry. She started bawling like a baby. I said, I'm serious. I said, I met the girl I'm going to marry.
You never even went out one time?
No. Yes, like mental telepathy.
I think she was running away, Tom. She was running away.
Maybe she was.
Her high heels were running right away from you.
And that's how, exactly how it
I
happened.
worked in an office.
My mother
I
cried, she couldn't fall back to
And
sleep
my
that night.
height.
They wanted to think of my baby.
We would go to a wedding or something, and your mom would go, Red, you gonna give me a big kiss or not?
That was my mom. And my dad, Red, you're gonna give me a double shot. And your dad, he used to go to the bar, up to the bar like this. Remember Three Fingers, Uncle Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was mad at Jerry Mader when he got married because he got married in a country club. And they couldn't go up to the bar and order a drink. They all went downstairs. Who the hell does he think he is?
Yeah, but the best one was Uncle Ralph. Uncle Ralph is at our wedding. We're at the bar, I'm with the best man, Mike, and we're all having a shot. And we're all having a shot, and Uncle Ralph must have had 14 shots before that. He falls down right at the bar, at Robert and Allen's. Falls down right on the goddamn floor. And he's down there on the floor, and he gets, I didn't spill one damn thing.
We were at Newport, and we moved them. I said, this ain't that. We got big Charlie Strike from the tavern. He was about 6'8", over 300 pounds, and they had a big refrigerator. We strapped it to the guy's back, because we lived on the second floor. So my brother's, okay, Uncle, we'll take it over to the house and set everything. Well, wait a minute, there's a few things in the garage. He opened up that garage door, from wall to wall, and floor to ceiling was boxes. I don't know what all of it. So we made about 10 trips. But we got to move. Jim and I. My old man used to come along, used to drink. They put that box over there.
Yeah, he was the boss.
Yeah. And by the way, Ralph, you got another beer? Well, he used to call Uncle Ollie and Ralph and Jerry's dad when we lived in rent on Laramie Avenue.
Ed? Uncle Ed?
No, Harry, all his brothers.
Oh, Harry, okay.
And we rented this house. And he made a deal with the landlord. If he painted the outside of the house, he would get 2 months free rent. And the landlord had to pay for the paint and the brushes. Ollie would go, he was standing, drinking all this paint. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Ralph said, when are you going to start paying? Oh, I got to watch the beer. He had a big, like a wash barrel or whatever the hell it was. When I see he had the quarts of beer in there.
Well, Judy, tell the story about when he came back from the service. Ralph.
Such a funny story, but he'd come back around Christmas time, and they'd all come to our house, and they would all have their shots, and then they'd go to the cemetery. You know, that was their excuse for Grandma. We're going to the cemetery to see Pa's grave, and then they'd stop at the Big Oaks Tavern, and then they'd come back, but they had some fight in the car in front of our house, and they were beating your father to an inch of his life. I don't know, it was like he smarted off to him or something. And Grandma and my mom are out there. It's Christmas Day. They're out there and they're screaming, let him out of the car! Let him out of the car! It was very traumatic.
Ralph come home on leave one time, and I was a little kid. And my daddy, you always had a hangout, you know. You remember Joe Kashevich? He was down from the funeral home there on Long Avenue. Well, it's not even a tavern anymore. Ralph come home, and my dad went over there, and Busha said, Ed, where are you taking him? Oh, we got to go to the cemetery, Busha. Mom. Well, they went to Joe Kashevich, and they were there till about 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking and playing pinochle. I never heard Busha swear, but she come pretty close to it. That
Grandma made her?
Yeah.
Neither of them could find their ass with either hand. I don't know how the hell they drove home.
They didn't have particles.
No.
But you know, one of the things I remember about your dad was